Good morning, friends. It's Denise from Loving Life at 60ish, and I'm back with another gardening video. It's a little late this week, but I still wanted to get it out to you. And it's a beautiful sunny morning here in Maine. And I just wanted to show you what has happened since the last time I videoed. Look at that. Isn't that great? So those were bulbs that we planted. And we, meaning my son and I, and grandson, we planted hundreds of bulbs. I'll show you in a minute. I'm sorry my shadow is following us, but so this is the I just wanted to look today. I haven't been out since last weekend to check on things, and obviously things are starting. This peony, if I can get out of my own shadow there, I do see a little bit of growth right there. And so the peony has a story to it. It is, well, before I start, look at these things. They're bulbs, and I think they might be allium, maybe. I didn't mark where I put what bulbs, so it will be interesting to see what comes up. But this looks like the same thing over here, and I feel like I put allium in there because they were tall. So this peony is from my mother-in-law. I've got a couple of her peonies, but this one is especially special because she gave it to me as a bribe. I had taken a picture of her, and it was a side 2 picture of her face, and she didn't like it. And so she told me if I gave her the picture, then she would give me a peony. And so we traded, and we have laughed about that so many times. Oh my gosh, you guys, look! Look at that! It is about time. Spring has been a long time coming here. I noticed when I went downtown this morning that, oh look, there's another one. So I guess I have to be careful of where I'm walking. I noticed when I went downtown this morning that lots of people's tulips are up, and not mine, but you know, we're a little bit further out. So this lawn here used to always be a lawn, but then it got overgrown. And last year it was about knee-high with weeds. And I took it upon myself to buy a weed whacker, and every couple of days came out and weed whacked another little space until I had a lawn. And then in the fall, my son and grandson and I planted hundreds of bulbs out here on the lawn with the theory that they would come up and the lawn would be full of color. And so obviously that hasn't happened yet, but right here in this little space, it has happened. There's a whole bunch of them there. Look at that. So the theory behind it is you let them grow, and after the flowers have bloomed and passed, you wait a few weeks, and then you can start cutting your grass. And then it should they should come back every year and multiply. So we'll see what happens. I don't think you got to see her last time. She was covered with a bucket. But my grandson and I came out and put some things out, some solar lights, some wind chimes and things last weekend. This is a honeysuckle. I put it here so I could smell it in the mornings, but we didn't really get a good scent off from it last year until towards the end of the season. But look, it's got all kinds of new growth on it. And I didn't know if it would make it. So what I'm wondering is, see this top growth is old. Do you cut that off? Or is it too late in the spring to do that? Anyone know about honeysuckle? There's some dead nettle that has come up already and turned green. And of course some wild geranium, because we always have wild geranium all through the garden. Now I don't see a whole lot of other stuff. A lot of this is cone flowers. There should be tiger lilies in here. These two buckets have tulip and daffodil bulbs, and there's no sign of life yet. What I do need to do is, as you can see, there's a lot of leaves that have blown into the garden. But I'm going to wait until I get back from my trip, and then I'll come out and clean this all up and get it, you know, everything sort of looking fresh. There's mulch down there that I'll just rake around so it's a little bit cleaner looking. Let's see, even like this just needs to be, whoops, sorry, just needs to be moved around and give the plants some air. I'm so excited about those two little bulbs. We have a coneflower down here. I could probably cut that old stuff off. I haven't felt well enough. I got my wind chime out last weekend. And in our family, we believe if we are in the house and hear the wind chimes, that it is our baby angel Jamie out here flying around. And even my grown-up kids will say, there's Jamie playing. And my grandson does too. And so it's just a lovely sound for us. So this, actually I didn't notice this the other day when I was out. But it's coming up. This is where the sunflowers took flight last year, and I'm wondering if I'll get any self-seeded ones. Dianthus is already greening up. Woolly thyme. Oh, my bee balm. It was so, sorry, I put my hand in the way again. It was so pretty last year. I'm glad I labeled these, because otherwise I really wouldn't know what was in here. I kind of plant Willy Nilly. And speaking of Willy Nilly, so this says ranunculus mix on it. And what I learned was I planted those bulbs all wrong. They're not supposed to be planted like tulip bulbs and daffodil bulbs in the fall. So I've got ranunculus Willy Nilly through 3 gardens, and I don't think that they will surface. But, you know, there's always hope. You don't know what's going to happen, do you? So there's another piece of driftwood that my husband got for me. I haven't put out any of the furniture or the painted pieces that we did last year. This ground should have buds all over it too. I don't really see any. I do see one Really, really tiny. Oh, I see two. Tiny, tiny. I'm so excited, you guys. It's pretty cool. When you've had a long, dark winter, which is always the case here, as far as I'm concerned, it's good to see green in color coming back up. There's my hostas. I am going to try to uncover them a little bit from the mulch that's on them and just let them be while I'm gone. And I don't think you saw her because she was in a bucket also, covered with a bucket. Isn't she beautiful? So again, these are done by a local business. This is a rose bush. And I'm so hoping, it's green, so I'm hoping that it keeps coming along. See, there's not a lot going on, really. I mean, little places. Oh, there's my, I don't think you saw that last week either. My grandson and I, last year, decided we were going to make stepping stones for the garden. So we made this one together. Whoops. Yeah. And I left it out over the winter, and I sort of wished I hadn't, but it still feels very solid and okay. So I'm going to believe that I did the right thing. We have some more we're going to make this year. He got me this gnome last year for Mother's Day, and he wanted to put it out last weekend, so we did. Oh, there's more ranunculus right there. I mean, could you imagine if it actually did come up? Lots of wild geranium. I don't know if that's the real name for it. That's what I call it. There's another peony in there, but I don't see a lot of action going on. And there is, seen her. In this area is a huge hosta, but I don't see any signs of it right now. And what happened last year is it grew and grew, and it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And then the deer decided I had an all-you-can-eat buffet here, and they ate it all. It was terrible. Ate it right down to the ground. We solved the problem, but it took a while. There's another solar light. It looks like it's pouring out water when it's lit up at night. And I mean, there's some green, some of it's weeds. Isn't it amazing that weeds come up first? We've got some lovely lavender right here. And I thought it was dry, but it's not. It smells great. Next time I come out in the garden, I'll stop at each plant and we'll read what they are and see what we're expecting to come up. There's a nice weed. Look at that. Isn't that great? There's lemon thyme. French thyme, winter thyme. Not sure how they'll have done over the winter, but there's a tall flock there. This is, but none of them are coming up yet. This is another wind chime that my mother gave me last year, last summer. She was here during the trials and tribulations of my creating the newer garden last summer. Still no signs of bulbs coming up from any of these pots. I may dig down with my hand and try to pull up a bulb and see, maybe they've rotted. I don't know. I hope not. But there you have it, guys. I have some action going on my lawn, and I think I will see how that goes and find some other bulbs to plant in it this fall to create more of a show. But yeah, I have a lot to do. There's a lot out here that needs to be done, but I'll be looking forward to it. Okay, thank you, friends. Thanks for being here in my garden today, and I'll have all kinds of gardening questions for you. I do want to remind you, I'm not a gardener. I am a gardener. I mean, obviously, I did these gardens, but I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a Willy Nilly gardener. Anyone else out there? Raise your hand. Are you a Willy Nilly gardener? Because that's what I am. There's my proudest thing right there, that pink bike. I'll tell you about that. Last year I had been looking on Pinterest, and of course there were all these bikes and gardens and old bikes, and they had flowers over them and everything. And so I said to my husband, who is a junker, "You don't have to have an old bike, do you?" And he said, "I don't know, I'll look." The next morning, this old bike was sitting out in the driveway for me, and it was rusty and nasty looking, and so I painted it pink. And I don't know if you can see, I'm going to try to, can you see that? So the tires are a gold color, and then I put a bike basket on the handles and baskets of flowers on the seat, and put it out here in front of the garden where you could see it better. And so I'm excited to get that out. One step at a time, like everything else, right? It takes time to get this all accomplished and done. All right, folks, I really am going to leave you now. Thanks for being here this morning. Have a great day. Oh, see, I'm not ready to go yet. I wanted to say, I don't say this very often, but I would love it if you would like and comment and subscribe. It is life to us if you do those things. It really helps. So I'm excited. Okay, guys, thank you.